What's up YouTube? Shamu Aquatics here, bringing you guys another update on my 240 gallon planted aquarium. And as you can see, there is a new piece of driftwood in that corner over there. And then there is a new piece of driftwood right over here, being held down by a rock because it is still floating. So back in November, I bought a bunch of new driftwood with the plans of doing a massive rescape on this tank. That was back in November, and it is now the end of March, and most of that wood is still floating, including that one. And that piece was the only one that is not still floating. But there's still more work to do in here. Long overdue rescape. One of my huge anubias decided to split into 3 separate plants, so now I have it spread throughout the tank. Got this little anubia bridge over here. Overall, I am liking how it looks right now. Wonder how it's gonna look when I get all of the wood in here. I have a bad habit of recording videos like right after feeding the fish, so now there's a bit of a haze in here because I just fed them. That's why everybody's grazing on the bottom right now. And the other update is that a couple weeks ago, I added a new fish to my tank. You can see him right here. That is my new bala shark. And the reason there's only one in here is because out of all the fish stores out in my local area, I only trust a few of them. And I went to one of them and they only had one bala shark there. This little 4-inch chonker, which he's a bit bigger than the size most fish stores typically sell bala sharks at, but they only had one. So whenever I have time, I'm gonna go back to the fish store and try to get a few more. As a lot of you guys might know, I did have bala sharks in the past, back in my old 135 gallon. Ended up getting rid of them because after a while, I got sick of them always freaking out and banging into things and banging into the lids, trying to jump out of the tank for no reason. Those fish were psychos, but now that I have an 8-foot tank, I'm gonna give it another shot. And I'm gonna try to have them in like a group of 5, see if that helps. But this guy really isn't bad. He does swim away from me if I get close to him with the camera, but he doesn't freak out or anything like that. But usually that starts once they get to about like 6-7 inches. He's about like 4.5 right now. But I have had some losses. I am now down to 20. Why is it so hard to talk when I'm talking to a camera? But I am now down to 21 of these roseline sharks, aka Denison barbs. I have lost a few of them in the past like couple months. And what I noticed is that it was the ones that I got when they were already adult sized. And it was one of the ones they were the ones that I've gotten like right after setting up this tank. So I have a feeling that maybe the previous owner was lying about their age, because I was told that they were like a year old. Like when I got them, I did have my doubts because it was one of the groups of roselines that this giant came with. Now this one looks young and healthy. He's like 6.5 inches, but I still have doubts that he was only a year old when I got him. There's no way he got to 6.5 inches after only a year. But all the other ones that he came with, they were a bit raggedy looking, like they lost some of their color, like they were definitely not in their prime. And yeah, so yeah, definitely probably old age. I don't know how to describe it. And I did end up losing one of my boesemani rainbows the other day. It got stuck underneath the striped raphael catfish's cave. Because not only does this cave go through here, but it also goes into here. And the striped raphael catfish like dug his way into here. And I guess that boesemani, like to the point where it was like lifted up off the gravel a little bit too. And I guess that rainbow fish wandered into that little corner, got stuck, and I saw his little head poking out of here, and he was dead. So unfortunately for the striped raphael catfish, his home was deemed a hazard. I removed it, and now the striped raphael catfish is homeless. Or at least he was for a couple days, but he found a new spot in there. Sorry, buddy. You don't get as much privacy as you wanted, but your home is dangerous. Oh yeah, another one of these roselines seems to be like entering the last stages of life. Now that's one of the ones that looks really old. This one's always been a little discolored, and lately it has been eating slower and losing a lot of weight. So that one's probably on its way out from old age. But whatever. I'm just hoping that Mr. Goliath here at least stays with me for another couple years. That's like the biggest roseline I've ever had, and I'm most likely never gonna ever have one this big again. They're all hyper because they just got fed. Still glass surfing, begging for more food, because I guess 7 cubes of spirulina brine shrimp is not enough. Now, this bala shark's probably gonna end up being like 8 inches by the end of the year. But yeah, that's all I pretty much got for updates. Nobody's sitting still right now. They're in the feeding mode, hyperactivity. Let's show you guys what the whole tank looks like right now. That's how it's looking. My nice big 8-foot, 240-gallon overstocked aquarium. I do need to get more boesemani rainbows though. I hate how, because like this was supposed to be themed around rainbow fish and roselines, but there are way more roselines than rainbow fish in here. But at least they stand out quite a bit. Ooh, it looks like the redtail shark nicked himself on something. Whatever. Usually if I see a scrape on my fish or whatever, I don't do anything about it. I just let it heal on its own. They always heal on their own. Oh, he does not like Siamese alligators. It always heals on its own. Good water quality goes a long way. I'm not doing my water changes every 2 weeks anymore. I do it every 3 weeks now. Still nice and healthy. But this video is not going to be too much longer. I am hardly ever home now, so I never really get time to sit back and enjoy my tank with my own eyes. But that's pretty much it for updates. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video after I get a couple close-up shots. Why are you still begging for food, you crackhead? These roselines are such pigs, I swear.